The story begins with a girl named Mallory who is painting. Mallory is pregnant, and her baby is due in just a few days. Just then, her sister Jessica arrives and says, "Have you seen the news?" The news is showing strange reports. When Mallory turns on the TV, she learns that a bizarre disease has broken out in Russia. This disease causes people to lose control over their own minds, and the infected individuals attempt to kill themselves. The reporter says, "No one knows for sure yet. Is this a disease or some kind of virus?" Suddenly, people start seeing something, lose control over themselves, and brutally commit suicide. The news reports this disease has now spread among millions of people and is rapidly moving from Russia to other countries, but Mallory ignores the news and goes to the hospital with Jessica for her pregnancy checkup. The doctor gives her good news. The baby is completely healthy, and she will soon become a mother. Hearing this, Mallory feels overjoyed, and they start heading home. However, as soon as they leave the hospital, Mallory sees a girl smashing her own head violently against a glass wall. Terrified by the sight, she freezes and quickly jumps into the car with Jessica. Mallory says, "Let's go! Quickly! I feel like that terrifying virus from Russia has reached here too." Outside, the streets are in complete chaos, and people are attacking themselves. Jessica speeds up the car, but the situation deteriorates in an instant. The road is filled with accidents. Seeing this, Mallory shivers with fear. Suddenly, while driving, Jessica sees something, and the color of her eyes changes. She completely loses control, accelerates the car, and deliberately rams into the vehicles ahead. Mallory tries to stop her, but Jessica seems possessed, driving the car like a complete maniac. In the chaos, their car collides violently with another vehicle. Fortunately, both survive and manage to get out. But before Mallory can even process what happened, she sees Jessica suddenly run and jump in front of a truck, losing her life instantly. Watching her sister die in such a horrifying way leaves Mallory nearly shattered, paralyzed with fear and grief. Yet the situation is so terrifying, she doesn't even have time to cry and cannot approach Jessica's lifeless body. Mallory sees chaos all around. People are running to save their lives, and she runs along with them. Suddenly, someone from behind pushes her to the ground. A woman rushes to help her up, but before Mallory can even stand, the woman sees something, and just like Jessica, she jumps into a burning car and burns herself to death. At that moment, a man named Tom appears. He pulls Mallory up and takes her into a nearby house. Inside, several people are already there, all trembling in terror from the sudden horrifying events. They keep asking each other, "What is happening? Why is this happening?" But no one has an answer. They turn on the TV. The news reports there is something terrifying outside that drives people insane at first sight and makes them attempt to kill themselves. The reporter adds, "This virus has now spread across the entire world. Those who are not yet infected should keep all doors and windows closed and must not go outside under any circumstances." Everyone in the house quickly secures all windows and doors. They cover the windows with paper as if to prevent the invisible monster outside from even catching a glimpse of anyone inside. 3 days pass this way. Yet no one still understands what exactly this is, why it's happening, or how long it will continue. Everyone was sitting inside the house, tense and worried, when suddenly there was a loud knock at the door. A girl's voice, crying, "Please, please open the door. Let me in, please." Tom goes to open it, but Douglas stops him. He's afraid. What if she's infected? But Mallory picks up a gun and points it at Douglas. She tells Tom, "Open the door." Tom opens it, and the girl rushes inside. Her name is Olympia, and she's pregnant too. Everyone asks her, "How did you get here with your eyes covered?" Olympia says, "I ran out of food, so I started knocking on doors, one by one, until I found this place." Hearing this, Douglas says bitterly, "We won't survive long either. We've been stuck here like this for 7 days. Now everyone starts to think, how can they go outside to get food? There's a supermarket nearby, but if they can't keep their eyes open, going outside is basically suicide." Then the homeowner says, "We have security cameras outside. If we watch the monsters through the cameras, we can avoid them and reach the supermarket." He adds, "I don't think watching them on a screen will infect us." But everyone else is too scared to agree. The homeowner says, "If we don't try, we'll starve to death." This time, the others understand. He might be right. Meanwhile, we see Mallory and Tom talking to each other. Tom is a good man. He saved Mallory's life. From their conversation, it's clear they're slowly starting to like each other Then they both start looking for supplies. Mallory finds 3 birds in a cage. She takes them with her. Just then, someone starts banging on the store's door. Everyone panics. No one wants to open it. The man outside is crying, begging, "Please open the door." Everyone feels bad for him, but they're also terrified. What if he's infected? So they arm themselves beforehand and decide if anything seems suspicious, they'll kill him immediately. The moment they open the door, the man tries to force his way inside, shouting, "They're beautiful! You should see them!" Right then, everyone understands. He's not normal anymore. He's infected. There's no other choice. Charlie suddenly pushes him back outside, but falls out with him. The monster-controlled man brutally kills Charlie. Charlie sacrificed his own life to save the rest. Mallory then notices, whenever the monsters get close, the birds start chirping loudly. Now those birds are their only warning system. The remaining 4 return home safely with food, but their hearts are heavy from Charlie's death night falls. Everyone goes to their rooms. Suddenly, a knock at the door again. Olympia hears it, and without a moment's thought, she opens the door and lets a man inside. Seeing this, Mallory quickly points a gun and yells, "Stop! Don't move!" The others rush out. They see a stranger in the house and scream, "Why did you let him in?" Olympia says, "I was alone outside. I know how terrifying it is to survive alone." She felt compassion for the man, which is why she brought him inside. Meanwhile, the man, whose name is Gary, says, "Please don't send me out." He explains that some psychopaths had broken into his house. They forcibly made his friends open their eyes and showed them that monster. One by one, everyone committed suicide. Gary somehow managed to escape and reach here. Here we learn anyone who sees that demon once experiences something so personal and horrifying that it becomes the deepest wound of their life, an unbearable trauma. Suddenly, in deep depression, they kill themselves. But Gary says something even more terrifying. The psychopaths he saw weren't blind. They actually felt joy seeing the monster. Here's the crucial truth. Those who have already been broken by extreme suffering, those who are almost dead mentally, the demon cannot affect them. They are already shattered inside. Instead of killing them, the demon controls them. These broken people, wearing human masks, become the demon's hunters, preying on others. Now the question arises, is Gary one of the demon-controlled puppets, or is he truly innocent? We'll find out soon. Everyone lets him stay, but Douglas absolutely cannot trust him. In anger, Douglas raises his gun, intending to force Gary out. At that moment, Charla hits Douglas on the head, knocking him unconscious. Together, they lock Douglas in a room. Gary thanks everyone. The next day, Mallory and Olympia go into labor together. Tom and Charla help them upstairs, but Gary stays downstairs, and his behavior gradually starts becoming more and more abnormal. Suddenly, Gary spreads out numerous pictures of the demon on the table. Just by looking into his eye, it's clear Gary is now under the demon's control. Meanwhile, at this exact moment, Mallory and Olympia give birth to their children. Olympia has a baby girl, and Mallory has a baby boy. But the birdcage downstairs suddenly starts making loud, intense noises. Annoyed, Gary shoves the birdcage into the fridge and tears the papers off the windows. Douglas sees everything and realizes, "I told you, this guy isn't normal," he shouts. "I warned you, he's the demon's puppet." Hearing the scream, Tom comes downstairs, but from behind, Gary strikes him on the head, knocking him unconscious. Now Gary advances toward Douglas, intending to kill him. But just then, he hears the crying of the babies. Gary releases Douglas and runs upstairs. Once inside the room, he quickly tears down all the window papers. Olympia accidentally looks outside, and in that instant, she falls under the demon's influence. Mallory realizes that Olympia will inevitably kill herself. She quickly grabs Olympia's baby, and just moments later, Olympia jumps out the window and dies. Now Gary grabs Charla, forces her to open her eyes. Charla, too, infected, ends up killing herself. Gary then moves toward Mallory, but Mallory, hiding under a blanket with the babies, is still alive. Gary tries to tear the blanket away, forcing her to look outside. Just then, Douglas appears, eyes closed, gun raised, and aimed at Gary. But Gary knew Douglas couldn't see anything, so he seized the moment, rushed forward, and pushed Douglas off the upper floor. Then Gary grabbed a pair of scissors, climbed on top of him, and stabbed him repeatedly, saying, "You'll never see the beauty of the creatures." Just then, Tom regains consciousness. He somehow reaches for the shotgun, and with one blast, kills Gary. Then he runs upstairs, calms Mallory and the two babies. Now only 3 remain alive: Tom, Mallory, and the two children. 5 years later, the scene changes. Mallory and Tom now live almost like a couple. The children have grown up, but the fear is still not over. Outside, those madness-driven people still wander, the ones controlled by the creatures, and will kill anyone they find alive. For the last 5 years, they have lived like this, blindfolded, in darkness, in silence, surviving in terror. Mallory has taught the children how to survive in this hellish world. One day, suddenly, a voice comes through the radio. A man. He says his name is Rick. He says, "Where we are, it's completely safe. We have a colony with food, water, and everything you need." He goes on, "If you want to come, follow the river's current. When the current becomes strongest, our sanctuary is nearby. You'll find the place by listening to the birds." He also says, "It will take you 2 days to reach us." Tom wants to believe him. He wants to go. But Mallory refuses. She says he might be infected. He could be luring us out to kill us. That night, Tom tries to convince her. How long will we keep living like this? Blind? If we want to survive, we have to take risks. The next day, when they all went outside to gather food and other necessities, suddenly a group of crazed people attacked them. Tom tells Mallory and the children, "Now is the time to escape. I'll distract them and keep their attention on me. You sneak along the back path, follow the river, and make your way to the safe place Rick mentioned on the radio." Mallory doesn't want to leave Tom alone like this. Tom replies, "If we want to survive, one of us has to risk our life." Then Tom guides Mallory and the children through the back path. He blinds himself with a cloth, shotgun in hand, and faces the crazed attacker. The psychos demand he remove the cloth, but Tom keeps them distracted so Mallory and the children can escape. When they see Mallory fleeing and try to pursue her, Tom shoots and kills 2 of them. During this, he himself is injured. The remaining psychos are thrown off, making it difficult for them to attack. Tom removes the cloth from his eyes and kills 2 more of the crazed attackers. Now only 1 psycho remains. As Tom moves to eliminate him, suddenly the demon appears. The demon tries to take control of Tom, but before it can fully possess him, Tom ends the life of the last psycho. Then, with the same shotgun, he takes his own life. Hearing the gunshots, Mallory realizes Tom is dead. Mallory breaks down at Tom's death. In those dark times, Tom had been her only support. But there's no time to cry now. To survive, they must keep moving. She begins preparing for the journey to the safe shelter mentioned on the radio. Mallory tells the children, "This path will be very difficult, but to survive, we have to reach there. And remember, no matter what happens, you must not remove your blindfolds. If you do, you will die." Then Mallory ties blindfolds over her own eyes and the children's, grabs the ropes, and heads toward the river. Reaching the riverbank, they board a small boat and begin floating with the current. Mallory also keeps the caged birds with them. They are their only warning system. A few hours later, she contacts the colony again on the radio. Someone answers. Just then, the caged birds start screaming loudly, and a terrifying voice calls out to Mallory from a distance. She ignores it and keeps moving. After a while, the voice comes very close. A figure emerges from the darkness and says, "Take off your blindfolds, you're safe here. I have food." But Mallory keeps the children covered with a blanket and fires at him from all sides. The man realizes she won't remove her blindfold. He rushes to the boat and lunges at Mallory, trying to force her blindfold off, and says, "Look at that beauty. See how beautiful the demon is." But Mallory strikes him with her weapon and kills him. They are utterly exhausted. Just then, the boat hits a truck. Mallory's son and their bags of food both fall into the river. She jumps in to save her son and manages to pull him to safety. But all their food is swept away by the river current. Mallory collapses in despair. Without food, they will all die of starvation. Mallory stops the boat at the riverbank to look for food. She warns the children, "No matter what happens, stay in the boat. Do not remove your blindfolds under any circumstances." Then Mallory ties a rope and makes her way into a house inside the forest, where she finds some food and supplies. But on the way back, the demon chases her. The demon begins speaking in a human voice. Mallory fires her weapon and quickly escapes. Hearing the gunfire, Olympia's daughter, tied up with a rope, jumps out of the boat and heads straight toward the demon. Searching for Mallory, Mallory quickly grabs her and shouts firmly, "I told you not to leave the boat!" Then they resume their journey. By now, they have been traveling continuously for 42 hours. Mallory warns the children, "A wave is coming in the river. The current will be very strong. Hold the boat tightly." As they proceed, the river current grows even stronger. They hold onto the boat firmly, but the path is extremely dangerous. Suddenly, the boat capsizes. Mallory, Olympia, and the two children fall into the water, and the current carries them along. Mallory manages to save her son, but Olympia's daughter falls into the water, lands lightly on the shore, and calls out to Mallory. Mallory spots her and brings her back. This is how they get through the most dangerous part. Their destination is now very close. They move through the forest. Suddenly, they hear the call of birds. Following the radio instructions, they head toward the bird sound. But the demon also arrives and begins to follow them. The demon tries to tempt them into removing their blindfolds. Mallory warns the children, "Don't pay attention to the voice. Stay alert and keep moving." As they rush forward, Mallory suddenly falls into a lower pit. She loses consciousness. The children panic, shouting, "Where's Mallory?" They begin searching for Mallory. Taking advantage of this, the demon uses Mallory's voice to try and lure the children into removing their blindfold. Confused, the children think it's Mallory calling and start to take off their blindfolds. But just in time, Mallory rushes over and shouts, preventing them from removing the blindfolds. The children move closer, following her voice. Then, following the bird calls, Mallory leads them quickly onward. The demon is right behind them, trying everything it can to stop them from reaching the colony, but they ignore the demon and finally reach the colony. Mallory quickly asks them to open the door. The colony members let all three inside first. Their eyes are checked to confirm whether they are infected. When it's confirmed that none of them are infected, they are allowed inside the colony. Once they remove their blindfolds, they see that this is a school for the blind, where most people cannot see. Because of this, the demon cannot harm them. Here, Mallory meets a man named Rick. He is the one who had communicated the colony's location to Mallory and Tom via radio. Many birds are also released here, so they can continue giving warning signals. Mallory frees the birds she had kept in cages. And this is how the story ends.